Kia ora koutou. Tū matatia, tū ramatia, te tua papa o te matatu Aotearoa, ki runga, ki raro, ki uta, ki tai. Koia ko te manaakitanga, te whanaunatanga, te pono, me te whakamana I te ako. Haumie, huie, tai ki e. Matatu Aotearoa, the Teaching Council is pleased to facilitate this ITE symposium for ITE providers. In preparation, please turn on your camera, ensure your microphone is muted to maintain audio quality, and introduce yourself using the chat. Let us know your name, where you come from, and what your role is, please. Ko Talia tōku ingoa, he tohu ahau. I am an advisor in Te Ahu Paerewa o ngā kaiako, the teacher quality team. A reminder that the recording will be published on the Teaching Council website, so you can go back and retrieve it anytime you like. And any pātai not answered today will be answered in future Zui and newsletters. Tēnā koutou. Over to you, Jane.
Next slide, please. Kia ora koutou, ko Jane Franklin ahau, he po whakahaere te oku paerewa o ngā kaiako. I'm the manager teacher quality. I've been at the council for 9 years in different roles, and I feel very privileged to hold responsibility with my wonderful colleagues here on the screen in the initial teacher education space. And new teaching admin staff and initial teacher education provider teams around the motu. To help you understand the ITE environment, the Teaching Council each year runs a web symposium such as this, so that these new staff can familiarise themselves with the council staff, supporting ITE and relevant council services. We have 90 minutes set aside for this event, but if we happen to finish a few minutes earlier, I'm sure everyone will be okay with that. As you soon will hear, the symposium is the first in the series for 2024. We have some symposia planned in conjunction with the Ministry of Education to support ITE providers with the curriculum refresh. Aside from those, we will gratefully accept suggestions from the ITE community regarding which aspects of ITE practice you would like the symposia for 2024. Next slide, please. So now we're going to have some introductions, starting with ITE providing staff and finishing with the council staff. In the interest of time efficiency, can each person limit their introduction to 10? If you're from a large team, can the leader please introduce the team? I'm going to do my best. My two big screens have stopped today, so I'm looking off a wee laptop, so I'm going to do my best to organise this and just call out who I see. And I'm going to start with Paul Turner. Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Paul Turner tōku ingoa. I'm the lead of the secondary endorsement initial teacher education at Massey University. I don't see any of my other colleagues. I was just scrolling through to introduce them. So, yeah, that's me. Kia ora.
Oh, kia ora. Claire McLaughlin. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Tēnā koutou, ko Claire McLaughlin tōku ingoa. I'm the new Pro Vice Chancellor for Education at the University of Waikato.
Kia ora. James Wood. Oh, I think you're on mute, James.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's go.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko James Ward taku ingoa. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of New Zealand Tertiary College.
Kia ora. Lovely that you're here. Kia ora, Ian.
Kia ora koutou, I'm Ian McGilchrist. I'm here at the University of Otago. I'm the Secondary Program Coordinator.
Kia ora. Graham.
Kia ora koutou, ko Graham Sevenson ahau, ko Kaitia ki o Tokatohu Paitahi me tohu maturanga. I'm the Academic Leader for Undergraduate and Graduate Programs, ECE, Te Rito Mana.
Oh, kia ora. Zach.
Kia ora koutou, ko Zach tōku ingoa. I'm at the Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University of Wellington, and I'm one of the teaching experience coordinators in the Education, Professional Practice and Partnerships Office, which is a mouthful to say. We've got Vaishali Patel here as well, who is one of my colleagues.
Oh, kia ora to you both. Who else? Just scrolling through. Fiona, kia ora.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Fiona Allen, tōku ingoa. I work at the University of Auckland, Waipapa Taumata Rau. I'm an Associate Professor of Maths Education, but I'm the ITE representative on the Teaching Council at the moment.
Kia ora, Fiona. Karen.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Karen Robertson, the Program Leader of the Early Childhood at Bethlehem Tertiary Institute in Tauranga.
Oh, kia ora. Kia ora, there's a familiar face. Linda, love to see you.
Morena koutou. Yep, I'm Linda. I am currently working at BTI with Karen, teaching in the ECE program, primary and in the secondary program as well. And living local. It's lovely. Lovely to see you all.
Lynette.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Lynette Bryce and the academic leader for primary and secondary programs with the Open Polytechnic.
Kia ora, Lynette. Kimberly.
Kia ora koutou. My name's Kimberly Boucher. I'm from UCOL and I'm the Operations Manager for Humanities and Business. Lovely to see all your smiling faces.
Kia ora. Clark. Clark, are you able to? Oh, there you go.
I was on mute. Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Meg Phillips tōku ingoa. I'm the primary sector engagement leader for Te Rito Maiaha Primary Teacher Education. Thanks.
Kia ora, Clark. Gail. Kia ora.
Hey, kia ora koutou. Yes, I'm Gail. I'm Fiona's colleague at the Faculty of Education and Social Work, University of Auckland, Waipapa Taumata Rau. I'm the Associate Dean Teaching and Learning, but I also teach across the BEd and Mathematics Education. So nice to be here. I'm just going to leave the screen off if you don't mind. I'm having a few technical issues once the video is going.
No problem. Kia ora, Kate. Right. Have I missed anybody, team? Just trying to scroll through.
And we can do the council introductions once the guests have been introduced.
Yes, have I missed any of the guests? Please put your hand up if I have, and aroa mai. No? Okay, we'll start with Sharon Colton from the council. Kia ora, Sharon. Oh, we're having a few technical issues. Can't hear you, Sharon. I'll come back to you. Bill, could you please introduce yourself?
Morena koutou katoa. I work in the role of Tohu Arahi, lead advisor in the teacher quality team, Jane's team. And great to see some familiar faces on the screen, and thanks for coming along.
Kia ora, Bill. Anahira.
Mauri ora kia tātou. Ko Anahira Taiaki ahau, lead advisor Māori, kai whatu matua, e mihi ana kia koutou. Linda, tēnā koe hoa, pai te kiti i a koe. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, Talia.
Kia ora koutou, ko Talia Davies tōku ingoa. I'm he tohutoa ho. I'm an advisor in the teacher quality team, working in the initial teacher education and the competence space. It's lovely to have you all with us today. Ngā mihi.
Oh, kia ora. Simon.
Kia ora koutou, ko Simon Cottle taku ingoa, tohu matua, Senior Advisor here at the Teaching Council, new to the ITE team, enjoying the symposium already. Thanks so much for coming along.
Kia ora, and Jocelyn.
Kia ora koutou, ko Jocelyn Pollock toku ingoa, he tohu mātua aho, Senior Advisor in the Teacher Quality team. Looking forward to getting to know you and working with you and going forward.
How are you going, Sharon? Is it still technical issues?
Kia ora, Jane, can you hear
Oh,
me?
good. Kia ora.
It's like to take an entrance, everybody. Araha mai. Ko Sharon Colton hei Pau Whakahaere, General Manager, Relationship Management and Pathways. And I'm just first time to meeting you all, although I do recognise lots of fabulous faces. So looking forward to today. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Jane, for hosting.
Kia ora, Sharon. Over to you, Bill. Kia ora.
Next slide. Thank you, Ruby. That's Jocelyn.
Oh, aroha mai.
That's okay, Jane. Kia ora koutou. We often get asked who are the Teaching Council, what do we do? So we're just going to take a little run through the 6 functions of the council, and they're best illustrated through the development and career span of a teacher. So as teachers, we respect our trusted position in society and recognise the influence we have on learners, their understanding of the world and the future well-being of our society. We work with providers in order to maintain standards for the initial teacher education programs, and this ensures that each graduate is ready to teach and well equipped to continue their full journey to certification. Then as they move through schools and their induction and mentoring programs, our registration and certification team are responsible for updating and maintaining the register, giving confidence to the public and the profession that those who are on the register are fit and able to teach. The standards for the teaching profession, sorry, just back one slide, thanks. Cool. The standards for the teaching profession, nā paerewa mō te umanga whakaakoranga, describe effective teacher practice. A teacher's development of their practice occurs through the professional growth cycle as they explore the link between their practice and the standards. The code for professional responsibility, nā tikanga matatika mō te haipapa naiotanga, sets out the high standards for ethical behaviour expected of every teacher. It was developed with our profession, for our profession. It reflects the expectations of conduct and integrity that we all share, what we expect of each other, and what our learners, their families and whānau, their communities and the public can expect of us. And then the final poll sees us steering the future direction of teaching. As a teacher's career evolves, so does our profession. We can help the direction through initiatives such as Unteach Racism, Rauhuia and Inclusive Education. So we hope that gives you just a bit of a picture of what the Teaching Council, who the Teaching Council are and why we are here. Thank you.
Next slide, please. Tēnā koe. Ko au anō, tēnā tātou. Welcome, nau mai, hara mai ki te whare o Rongo Tauira. This is a Māori medium ITE, Initial Education, a Teacher Education Framework. Te whare o Rongo Tauira ensures Māori medium ITE providers have the opportunity to describe their approach to their programs, their program design, and development through narratives that express their own distinct ways of knowing, being, and doing, thereby informing the approval process with relevant, succinct kōrero to their principles and values within their whare. Providers will bring their own uniqueness and essence to the standards, ngā pairewa, and reflect these in their program outcomes and their graduate profile. Te whare o Rongo Tauira support te reo Māori immersion programs that hold level 1 and 2 language competency in te reo. Tēnā tātou, enjoy the rest of our hui together. Next slide, please. Is Libby here?
No, I'm going to be taking this one. Kia ora no. IT monitoring, as you will probably know, the IT requirements document that many of you are familiar with, the first part 1 talks about the requirements, and the second part 2, talks about the process, that the policy for monitoring, review and moderation. So although we would have liked to have given more details some years ago about the new monitoring system, COVID primarily disrupted that, and we had an interim monitoring process for the last few years. Now in 2024, we're getting much closer to having the new monitoring system in place. We've had a working group, including ITE experts, inverted commas, as part of that. And we're pretty confident that the new monitoring process, which will be implemented sometime in 2024, probably second half, it's putting a premium on time efficiency, low burden for providers and high trust. And if, say, for example, a provider can show with their annual internal evaluations, which every provider will do to some extent, if that provider can show that they're on track, then that will mean that there will be a lower burden of monitoring for them. So you'll hear more about this through newsletters and probably webinars closer towards the middle of the year. Next slide, please. So in about 20 minutes, Talia is going to describe a little bit about the ITE portal. So the ITE portal is a portal specially for IT providers. It is not to be confused with Hapori Matatu, which is the portal for all Aotearoa teachers, kaiako. So the ITE portal is where IT staff can make applications for approval of programs, review, etc. I'll talk specifically about a couple of things here. Language competency is a requirement for entry into IT programs, and many times providers want to ask, can we have an exemption for this applicant because they almost meet but not quite, and we think there are some extenuating circumstances. So the panel meets about once a week. So send your applications through the portal and you'll get a response probably within a week or 10 days. Also, if you've got exceptional academic entry applications for international students, we can also consider those. In the past, about 5 years ago, if you had a student returning after some part-time study or after some delay of study, and you had to make a decision, can the student still be complete this program, that decision would have been made by the council. Now that is made through your own approval documents, which were approved back during the panel. So next slide, thank you. The council can provide talks to new students and to graduates. There is only a slight complication which I'll mention now, and that is that there is as of 2023, there is a cost recovery process for some parts of those new talks to graduate talks. If it is coming from the teacher quality team who are with you on screen right now, that would involve a cost which would be maybe between $100 or $200. It can be done online or it could be done face-to-face. If, however, your team wanted to have an online or face-to-face option for the council's other teams to contribute, maybe talking about code of professional responsibility, or very popularly, registration tips for graduates, that happens towards, closer to the graduation, of course, that's probably going to be free of cost. So if in doubt, contact Talia. She's going to give her email address later on as IT admin, and we can get back to you and tell you exactly how we can support you and if there would be a cost. Next slide, please.
Ngā mihi, Bill. Ngā mihi, Bill. So the start of year provider information, we sent out a message about collecting 2024 provider information in January. So the purpose for this was for the council to understand who the key provider contacts are. This refers to everyone who needs to receive symposia invites, the ITE newsletter, and any other relevant communication, such as if we need to reach a particular program leader or coordinator. We know that there are shifts in kaimahi and we like to keep abreast of this so that we're reaching the right people. The other purpose of this collection is to see who needs to access the portal, which I'll talk about later, so that you can make language exemptions, program changes, and for us to find out which programs are on offer for 2024 so that we're displaying this information correctly on our website, and also the recently introduced Program Finder tool for prospective students. Included in the message was the 2024 endorser template, which we passed on to our registration team. So this gave the opportunity to list the names of teacher endorsers in ITE settings and identity verification of ITE graduates in Hapori Matatu. And included in the template was a place to list who in your organisation has the professional leader role as part of your ESL, so that you can recertify ITE teachers, as well as information about how to obtain professional leader role, and how to problem solve any ESL queries, as ESL is managed completely by MOE and it's separate to Hapori Matatu. So anytime you need to change this information, which has been provided to the council on the template, or if you have any questions at all, you can contact me. I've just popped my email address in the chat there, iteadmin@teachingcouncil.nz, and we're happy to help. And a huge thank you to ITE providers for giving us this important information this year. I know it's a big job, so thank you very much. Next slide, please. So the ITE newsletter, you'll be aware that we have an ITE newsletter. This is distributed when there's information which is worthwhile of sharing, rather than every month at a set time. So don't be alarmed if you haven't heard from us in a while. The newsletter contains information from the teacher quality team in relation to the requirements, as well as other relevant information such as policy updates. So if you aren't already on the distribution list, or if you're not sure if you're on the distribution list, you can sign up using the link, and our wonderful team are going to pop that in the chat now. So that's the link to sign up to the ITE newsletter. Or alternatively, you can email me as well. So if you aren't receiving the ITE newsletter, please check your spam folder. It can sometimes appear in there. And also a note that Kukari Student Bulletin in 2024 isn't going to be released yet. We're currently looking to incorporate this into the Matatu newsletter, so that we can tie in our wonderful student teachers with the profession. So keep an eye out for student teacher updates in the Matatu newsletter. Ngā mihi. Next slide, please. Okay, so the ITE portal, this is designed to be a place for information to be kept, so that there's one place for our records, such as conversations, program information, monitoring reports, everything ties it into one place, so that if there's a conversation between us and provider staff and they move on, those records remain. We just put brief notes, summaries of conversations, and those official documents, approval letters and things like that, and monitoring reports in the portal. It's also a chance to connect the right information with the right ITE provider. So if you've had changes in staff, please do log in and ensure that your contact details are up to date. This means that we can connect the right information with the right provider, and our wonderful team are going to pop the link to the ITE portal in the chat. I'll talk about logins as well. So it's up to each provider who they'd like to have a login for the ITE portal. There's not a limit, but at the same time, we ask that if you aren't using your ITE portal account, or if you've got provider staff who have had one and moved on, that you let us know, please, so that we can remove this access, because it's best to have these for the people that actually need to use it. And our IT team are currently working through the list of new portal accounts which you've identified in the 2024 information. So thank you very much for this. And logins for those that you've identified as needing an account should be with you shortly. There's also a portal guide which is available to help support you if you're new to the portal. It's a big space, or if you use it infrequently. So this also includes troubleshooting. So if you're having trouble logging in or uploading evidence, for example, this can help you in the guide. And if you're wondering why someone hasn't picked up your case, just get in touch with us and we're happy to help you. There might have been a glitch somewhere along the way. And the portal guide is going to be put in the chat as well. And that's on our website. So a few things to remember when you're submitting any application. One big thing is to tick the ready to submit box. Seems simple, but it's a tiny little box right down the bottom of the page of your application. So until you do this, we can't see your wonderful applications for exemptions or program changes or new programs you've written. And another piece which may be helpful if you log into the portal infrequently and you've forgotten your password is that your username is your email address. So it's always your email address, and then you can just click Forgot Password to be sent a new password. That's also a good way to see whether you've got a portal account. And because the portal is separate to Hapori Matatu, you don't need an ESL number, as Bill pointed out earlier. The Teaching Council don't hold passwords or anything like that. That's generated automatically. So as always, if you have any pārtai, please, or would like to reach out, please contact me, itadmin@teachingcouncil.nz. Ngā mihi. Next slide, please.
Oh, ko au anō, tēnā tātou. The kaupapa this morning, is to garner our burning issues that we have. I know there's many to talk about in the upcoming symposiums through 2024. So what we would like to ask of our participants, our attendees today, is to consider the provocation here. What do you as ITE providers wish to see as upcoming ITE symposia topics for 2024? And could your organisation contribute to such an event as we determine through the calendar year? So what does that look like for us in our breakout rooms? There'll be 10 minutes to discuss this kaupapa. And if you can select someone from your group, and keep in mind that the group will be coordinated with the number of the group you are in, to record your responses in the breakout room. So if we can have someone to give a quick feedback from each group. The groups will be randomly selected by our wonderful Ruby, who is looking after us. And we will come back after 10 minutes there, or give or take, and give some feedback. Please be ready to have your spokesperson to feedback. Also, record the issues that you would like to discuss onto the sheet that will be available to you.
Yeah, so we had sharing opportunity to share and work together, share ideas on how we can work together a bit more around some different ideas and resources and things like that. Really good to have a symposium on the monitoring process once that comes out, so we can actually hear and talk about it rather than just read about it. And just opportunity again with all that's happening in the sectors, space to have those conversations around what is happening currently in the IT sector and other sectors, and what are the challenges and how can we meet those, and how can we work together to support each other through some of those challenges, I think. And then for those particularly that are new, in terms of what does the Teaching Council offer students directly other than what's already been mentioned, and what is available that we can access. Yeah, that was us.
Unmute myself. Tēnā tātou. Thank you, Karen. E mihi ana ki a koe me tō rōpū. Thank you for your contribution, your koha to our discussion and our future plans to hold such important kōrero for us to grow collectively and build on the strengths that each provider will contribute to support us all. Anō reira, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou. Rōpū tuarua, group 2. Tēnā koutou, spokesperson, please. Kai kōrero. Kai kōrero, please.
That's me. Yeah, we had a good conversation about some ideas. We were speaking about how regionally, especially for those with distance programs or online programs, that there's a sense of isolation sometimes for the individual members of that team, where they're placed in a community at distance from the rest of the team, and having been able to connect with other ITE providers regionally to have even just to get together for a coffee and find out what you've been reading, and so being able to have regional catch-ups, and maybe if you know who everybody is, then we'd be able to help us with that. Understanding how NZQA and Teaching Council connect in that approval, monitoring and review space. So coming back to what Karen had said earlier, opportunities to share current research. There's so many exciting things happening in ITE, and we don't often get the opportunity to share that. So maybe just little bite-sized, quick-fire, 10-minute quick-fire starters of what's been happening. Understanding the CIA and how it's landed, and how it's been slightly different for every program based on the context and the content and the structure and organisation of each of those programs. Eventually, this is like if in a dream world where money is no object, an ITE National Hui, where we could actually all get together in one space and have like everybody share their ideas and get together. We're lovely. Not reality, but lovely. Looking at emerging trends and global shifts, and the other thing was looking at when we have students transferring between providers. So how to manage those, a common approach to managing that within the sector, looking at recognition of prior learning and transfer of credits, cross-crediting, and having an easy way to manage that, which can be quite complex times. That's all from group 2. Thank you.
I'm amazed, Linda. I was expecting a thesis. E mihi ana kia koe e hoa, pai te kite me te rongo I tō reo e rere ana, and the whanaungatanga that our regional meetups will support and strengthen ITE regionally with those cup of teas. The connects that we understand, bring understanding to each provider with NZQA and Teaching Council, Matatu Aotearoa, and of course what I call kai timo timo, the bite-size snacks that we can have to feed out to everyone, our ITE providers, especially with these kaupapa that we are looking at collectively. E mihi ana ki a koe e hoa me tō rōpū. Ka huri i naenei ki te rōpū tua toru, now turning to group 3. Kai kōrero, please.
Kia ora, that's our group.
Jane, tēnā koe.
Kia ora. I had to be honest, I quickly sneaky messaged Ruby. I couldn't remember what room we were in, so thank you, Ruby. So our group had some really good advice in terms of the technical running of an organisation of the symposia. So perhaps limiting it to an hour, and for new people into the ITE space, perhaps if they wanted to stay on to understand the mahi of the council, that could occur that way. Also, when sending out the invites and to provide a bit more detailed information, including perhaps information that people can read prior to the actual symposia. Example was around the curriculum refresh that Ministry run and Teaching Council help facilitate. I have a great discussion around ITE and LATs and what that means in terms of Claire's has come back from Australia and in this space, and I was just saying that we already had it on our plan for a symposium coming up. Bill, can you remember the date for that? We were going to engage in the LAT. Was it in April or May?
April.
Yeah, just sent a date. I'll let you know now.
April, so there we go. The advice also was that actually Ministry of Education needs to be in this space as well as IT providers and Teaching Council for a conversation to be held. The other thing is to reopen a dialogue around payments for registration for students moving into being a tomoe. Is that correct, Ian? I might have got that a little bit wrong, but exploring ways because the cost is so great for the council. Is that correct, Ian?
No, that's correct. Yeah, obviously my main concern is the cost of entering the profession for students. I do find a very hard sell to talk about the benefits of the Teaching Council to students. There's a lot of resentment for paying a lot of money up front. In some cases, 8 weeks before they receive their first salary pay.
Yeah, so we can take that back and have a corridor. I don't think there's anything else. People are still going to be pondering ideas for topics, and we'll feed that back to Talia. Kia ora koutou.
Tēnā koe, Jane. Me tō rōpū. Thank you, Ian Ma. I'm going to move now to group 5.
Kia ora. I'm not Lynette Bryce, but that's good. I have Lynette Bryce as well. But Lynette Bryce, no doubt, is somewhere here as well. So there possibly are two of us.
I am here.
You are here. Oh, fantastic. So Lynn is here. So we're from the Open Polytechnic and we're academic staff members. And my group was a very small group, but the topic that I'd like to find out more about is alternative pathways into teaching, because the Open Polytech offers a secondary technology option for students who are at level 5 in their qualifications and need to bring themselves up. So we have 2 papers prior to the diploma, and then they move into the diploma once they've passed those. But we also find that in the advanced trade certificates are level 5, but a lot of people who've got trades qualifications, it's only at level 4. So we've had to find alternative pathways in which we could upskill those people or assess their skills and make it possible for them to move into our pre-diploma courses. So I'm just putting it out there that I'd like to talk about alternative pathways with qualifications into teacher education. And so that's been a bit of a concern for ours, and I think it's going to increase in the sector as the breadth of qualifications increases, and we also, of course, have a spectacular shortage of technology teachers, and that is not going to change anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mihiana, I see that the name Lynette Bryce twice there.
Yeah, so this is the real Lynette Bryce. So please stay up.
Kia ora, kia ora.
I think Kirsten, you were put in a different group from me. I don't know.
I was, yeah. Mercifully.
I
Thank
think
you,
I'm
Krista.
supposed to be reporting for group 5. Well,
Yeah.
but I don't know what group I was in. So
Well, I'm group 4. There was a very small group. It was me and one other person. So, yeah.
Anahira, what group was Bill in? Do you know? Because I'm
It's
in
group
that.
5, I'm pretty sure.
It was group 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
There we are.
Thank
We've
you.
sorted. Thank you, Lynette. Over to you.
Oh, group 5. So some of the topics have already been touched on. So we identified quite early, and Bill identified quite early, that there is likely to be a symposium already on curriculum refresh. Another topic top of mind is AI generally, and how it impacts on our students' programs and assessments. And of course, using it as a teacher is another topic. And we also considered some of the environmental political changes that are quite impactful, not just for us as providers, but for students as well. There's a lot of uncertainty with the new government and where things look in terms of initial teacher education. The other thing that we did talk about also that has been mentioned is the LAT, and Bill mentioned how we're looking to, the Teaching Council looking to converse with providers who are wrestling with that. And we certainly identified ourselves as somebody who is wrestling with the LAT question, and we'd be happy to contribute to that conversation. There was another one also came up that was talked about that we didn't talk about in our group, but has already been mentioned, and that's the CIA. And we delivered the CIA for the first time last year with our new programs, and we'd already initiated doing a little bit of in-house research on it and how that went and what the experience was like for us as a provider. So we'd certainly be interested in participating in that conversation as well. So I think that was it. Did I miss anything, Bill or Graham?
That was good, I think, Lynette.
Thank you.
Yeah, just about the CIA, as you will all know, or as you may know, as well as providers having internal and external moderation, all providers have agreed to be part of a national moderation event. That will very likely happen this year. And although details are to be confirmed, there is a chance that the CIA could be a useful assessment for providers to use for that moderation event nationally and possibly even regionally. So I think CIA is going to crop up sometime this year in one way or another.
Ka pai, kia ora. Thank you. Group 4, Group 5. Can I ask for Group 6, kai kōrero? Group
Kia ora,
6.
Anahira.
Kia ora, Sharon.
Kia ora. So I had the pleasure of writing lots of notes for our team. So Paul, Kimberly and James, thank you. Paul talked about support in provisions for mentor teachers for new teachers. You know, the induction and mentoring program, what advice, guidance, support can we give to mentor teachers? James talked about they've got a Masters of ECE and a Bachelor in Primary, and how do we approach development of new programs? That'd be something to be interested to share about. And how do we weave the science of learning into the primary curriculum? They've been doing a lot of research around the science of learning. That's right, isn't it? Did I say that right, James? Hope so.
Curriculum. Thank you,
I've
Sharon.
got a little bit more. Sorry, Anahira.
Ka pai, haere tonu, please.
Ngā mihi. Support for associate teachers. Paul, James and Kimberly talked a lot around that. Kimberly talked about at UCOL, they've got courses that people take part in, and they're staged at specific times of the day. But between the four of us, we talked about the importance of associate teachers, and so whether there's an opportunity to everyone to korero together to share what works and ideas and strategies, suggestions, etc. And then one of the things that James talked about is the Masters of Teaching and Learning. There isn't an actual definition of practicum here at Teaching Council, and they've been doing some work around that, and active participation in teaching teachers during practicum. What does that look like? And then finally, James was talking about a level 9 ITE program, but the associate teachers are more at level 7. So how can they mentor level 9 teachers in that space? So what does that look like? So that was posed a question if there's something we could talk about there. So those were the ones of the group. And we were a small group, but they really interacted and gave lots of ideas. So kia ora to the group number 6. Thank you.
The whakatauki nau te raurau nāku te raurau ka ora te iwi. With your contribution and our contribution, we will all thrive. And this is definitely one of those sessions where we have shared in what we would like to talk to and grow through in the upcoming symposium. And very importantly, most importantly, is that if you have burning issues that you would like us to respond to individually as lead advisors for ITE, please utilise our ITE admin at teachingcouncil.nz email, and that will come through to us to then provide a response. I heard some quite burning issues that we could respond to immediately and then bring into our calendar for further discussions across the ITE provider community. Hapuri. I would like to acknowledge every kai kōrero, every that has contributed in the breakout rooms and who have shared in this forum to give feedback, and we will treasure what you have provided for us. It is a kaupapa that we grow from, we learn from as we develop each symposia, and we hope that you treasure those symposia as much as we do in the conversations, the wānanga that we hold. Nō reira, e mihi ana kia koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Next slide, please.
Ngā mihi ana hera. Koe e ki runga, koe e ki raro. I rongo whakairihia ki runga kia tīna, tīna. Haumie, hui, tai kie. Thanks. Ngā mihi koutou.
Thanks for coming along, everybody. All the best for the rest of your day.